The day started off really normal. I was shopping around Sam's Club. I was just having a great time, and labor started around dinner time. Martine told me to come in at about 7 minutes between contractions because this was my third, and we showed up at 7 p.m. I labored for only 2 hours before she was born, so it was a whirlwind. It was pretty surreal. Martine had checked me when I first showed up and noticed that there was something in front of her head, and she thought it was just her little hand up there. And so as soon as my water broke, Martine came in and she did a cervical exam, and that's sort of within those minutes, everything changed. The room just became suddenly a chaotic environment.
Leah experienced a very scary emergent situation during her labor called cord prolapse. Cord prolapse occurs when the baby's umbilical cord falls, so the cord is presenting prior to the birth of baby's head. It's an emergent situation because the oxygen is cut off with the cord compression. And Leah's labor, she wasn't quite ready to give birth when her water broke. Thankfully, she was in the hospital when her water broke.
I was only 8 centimeters dilated. And so Martine, with all of her energy and encouragement, said, "You need to push this baby out now." And I think it was probably 2 or 3 pushes. It was only a matter of minutes. And Selah was born, and she came out blue and wasn't crying. And the first thought was that my baby was dead and that this wasn't a happy ending. So they whisked her away after probably 10 seconds of, maybe less, of her on my tummy. It took about a minute and a half maybe before she started crying, and that little cry was overwhelming. It was just overwhelming. She got to come and lay on my tummy for another half a minute probably before they had to take her off to NICU. And fortunately, she was only there for 2 hours, so that was a pretty short amount of time, and they brought her back, and I was the happiest person in the world. My little baby was there, she was breathing. After they brought her back after the 2 hours, she was fine, everything was normal. Her movements are all normal, so yeah. You tell them.
It was a very scary situation, and something that happens occasionally in labor, and everything happened because of the direct communication that took place between myself, Leah, and the staff. Thankfully, everything happened with the best outcome that we could have expected.
Well, you have seen my baby. She is, she's Chatty Cathy over here. She's such an easy baby. I mean, we're so fortunate that she's communicating very well. She's a sweet addition to the family, and we're so grateful that she's with us.
Let me give her a kiss.
This time around, as soon as I found out that Boulder had midwives, I jumped on that because that's the care that I wanted, but with the comfort of the hospital and in case I needed to be rushed to a C-section, which was a very close possibility in this birth.
Women deserve options, and we are lucky in this community and at Boulder Community Hospital to have options. As a midwife, I really value getting to know the women that we care for and their families, and that ability for them to be able to trust in us and know that we can handle any situation that comes about makes for better outcomes.
Martine has such a confidence and a caring attitude about her. I felt like I was in really great hands the entire time. There was a moment where I could sense her fear, her uncertainty of what to do. I think you said this was your first prolapsed cord that you've ever experienced in 14 years. She had everything under control. I heard her processing through what might need to happen if I couldn't push Selah out as quickly as I did. She was very professional and very comforting, so I really appreciate you.
You're so welcome.
Yeah.